Yet another lovely season on our way. It is I, your host Thando Nkonyana, back with another one. This is my current state of mind 8. What a way to open up this new season with such impeccable drive and also exuberance. 2023 is the year that I expand, I uplift, I elevate, and I motivate. It is an honor and a pleasure to welcome you to another impactful season that's going to be full of emotion, lessons, and also acknowledgement. I thank myself that I've taken this far and also enjoying the process. I love the process. You should love the process. Everything that you are going through now is a build up to what you are supposed to be. Namaste. What a day, what a day. Oh, beautiful day, man. It's a last Friday of 2022. So fucking glad that I made it up until this far. Plenty of us can take that for granted, man. Making it till the end of the year. Yeah, that's not something to kid yourself about, hey? The amount of things that we had to surface ourselves through. I think plenty of us fail to even pat ourselves on the back. I will pat myself on the back in many, many instances, and also I would applaud myself if it is necessary for me to do that. Did I just laugh? Round of applause to you, Thando Nkonyana. This is for you, continuing the way that you have administered yourself in. I realize that you are missing your mother very much, son. Such a beautiful soul. Mama, I haven't forgotten all the things you've told me. I haven't really even forgotten all the experiences you took me through. And yesterday I had opportunity to have a chat with a good friend of mine. And the conversation we had reminded me that it is so important for me to prolong your memory. It is so important for me to remind those who still have a parent, whether mother or father or both, to appreciate, especially the things that we don't often get to see that our parents are doing behind our backs, to make sure that we are happy. Many of us, we don't even bother trying to find all the sacrifices that our parents had made and how far those sacrifices have taken us as a people. We are even in positions where we refuse to acknowledge that we wouldn't get where we are without these people's help. In many instances, they might not even be for what we are doing, but because we are hell-bent on getting what we want, they will continue to help us become the best versions of ourselves. I am quite adamant, and also I am well aware that I will be met with difficulty. I know I speak like a broken record many times, but in many instances, I am trying to connect with the younger version of who I used to be. The person that knew less, who couldn't make valuable decision. And come to think about it, we come from abandonment. We come from physical, emotional, and also spiritual abandonment. Because come to think about it, there are many things that as I've grown, I've started to see that our parents failed us in those instances. They did a good job all round. But it's different realities that we're living in now. We are living in the fourth industrial revolution where ignorance is very expensive, guys. Education, pricey. Ignorance, expensive. You are living in a world full of information now. And what you do with that information is also very important because there are people who are getting rich of information. There are people who are getting empowered of information. And there are people who are also helping other people because of information. And now we have these devices called smartphones, which are such a norm now that you can pick up this piece of plastic and get to speak to someone who is in another continent. When I look at the advancement of technology over the past 10 years, it scares me and also excites me at the same time. And with me observing all these technological changes, it has also made me see that while technology is improving, human beings aren't. We are getting lazier while the machines are getting smarter. The devices that we are making us dumber instead of empowering us. Because there are a few men who've decided they will create things that will be able to control the masses. Many of us are ignorant. Many of us are not even ready to be unplugged from the matrix. I understand. And guys, the matrix comes from the Bible. I'm not religious, but I do read the Bible. I do follow religious scriptures. Because the Bible to me is a retelling of a story to fit someone else's narrative. So it's totally up to you if you want to decide whose narrative is the Bible trying to portray. But I'm not here to argue with anyone. I am here to discover truth for the self. As we have moved into this information age, it is also important for us to understand that there is a plethora of bullshit information that is irrelevant. Even in the information age now, you have to learn to surface through the bullshit. I had a conversation a few weeks ago with my cameraman when he talked about how when he was trying to put out the podcast social media marketing things, how someone came out of their way to tell him that Facebook is not for motivation. If Facebook is not for motivation, then what is it for? Because I believe that whatever you are utilizing it for, it must be for your own benefit. You perceive it the way you use it. If someone else wants to jump on Facebook for jokes and hearing people's sad stories, that's their problem. But when you come to our page, you are going to get motivation. You are going to get information that you are not even ready to expose yourself to because you are not ready to have your reality dismantled. And that's quite understandable. What's misunderstood ain't gotta be explained. So the thing that you judge it because you know nothing about it. That is why you have all the opinions in the world about why it won't work, and yet you have never even laid a hand. How many things have you faced in your life you said that they will not work out, and yet you did not even try? It's the same thing with rumors. The people that believe the rumors were never your people in the first place, because real friends believe you and not the rumors. How many times when someone is under the bus and yet we are so quick to judge that person? We live in such a judgmental world. It just shows how incompassionate we are, how unrelatable we are. What grace is that supposed to do for us? Like, really? Is it supposed to make sense? That kind of way. Can we look ourselves in the mirror? Can we be able to say that we are people and yet we don't even remember the last time we came through for a loved one? Many of us are dying in installments, and that is a fault of our own. You forget that each and every day is a day that you are closer to your deathbed. Each and every day that you have is a day that you will never ever have in your life. I remember in high school, Miss Henry always used to remind us that, guys, today is a day that you'll never ever have in your life. You are a part of history. Treasure this day and use it to your advantage. And I remember how that used to piss me off. But when I left school, that was all that was on my mind. My teacher's words. This day is a day that you'll never ever have in your life. Make sure you live it to your full potential. Full potential. Don't forget why the Almighty had blessed each and every one of us with a gift. The Lord knew what He was doing when He embedded each and every one of us with a purpose. And also He instilled the grind, the ability for us to go and look for what will make us work. For many years I thought I got to the answer, but only when I thought I got to the answer, I realized I did not have the answer at all. How it amazes us that we enter in situations so sure that once we get a certain result, this is how we're going to feel. And then life turns a different kind of way. It offers us a different curveball. And that is a reminder to me that you can prepare for all you can, but you cannot determine what comes your way. Life is unpredictable. There is no formula to life. And another reminder is that you will die. You are a mortal being. Even when we are still alive. I remember this one time thinking that if I lose this relationship, then I do not know how I'll be able to function into the world. But then I realized that the moment I told myself that, I was enchaining myself to my thoughts. Me telling myself I cannot live with this person is what made me believe it. Because whatever in your life you believe is your truth. Come to think about it, you have been expressing your truth all your life without even your own knowledge. But you are so hell-bent on acknowledging others and also being in cahoots with them about what is a collective truth, and forgetting that what about the individual's truth. That is one thing that I had to go internally, and as I went through the hyperbolic chamber, I got reminded of my favorite anime, Dragon Ball Z, and also my favorite character, Kakarot, also known as Goku. Never give up. I had to fight through the most important thing, and is that in through the relationship that I had in the past, especially with myself, I had failed to take care of the most important well-being, and that was my mental health. Not even understanding that I came from a background that was full of trauma, that was full of pain, and full of adversaries. I again got reminded that do not forget, things can tumble, things can fall apart, and once things do fall apart, ain't nobody wants to start over with a building that has dismantled itself. So I had to learn to think as myself as an estate. First, I had to fix the mind estate. Then I had to fix the soul estate. Then the heart set. Soul set, mindset, heart set. This is an extract from the 5 a.m. Club by Robert Sharma. I forgot the fourth pillar, but I'm going to read that book again when I get opportunity. But seeing myself invest in also remembering the knowledge that I engaged myself into this year. I think I read about 10 to 15 books this year. I did not finish 50% of them. The other 50% I did finish them because they were very enticing. I listened to one of my favorite books on audio, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. And just a few days ago, I finished Everything is Fucked by Mark Manson. Such wonderful books. And also, sometimes you need to rigorously evolve yourself and expose yourself to different forms of motivation. There are the straight talkers, and also there are the subtle ones. They're all different kinds of things. But as a person, I have learned that there's not one way of learning things. You cannot be in one nature and expect things to work a certain way. Must be mindful that every estate matters. Taking care of the other, it pours unto the other. It reminds me of these great brothers that I have in my life. Lobabalo Chad Msipa, Bongolwethu Maholwana, as well as Sungula Sitekian. These are powerful young men whom I hold dear, and they are in my circle of empowerment. And they made me realize how grateful I should be that the Almighty gifted in me with this gift. Being such an impeccable man demands you to be responsible. You need to be present. But when I look at these people, I see beauty. I see myself, and all the adversaries that I could have gone over. But since I have them, they are reminding me I need to tend to this garden. I need to always be available to myself before I can be able to be available to them. I understood that things are not going to be easy at all, but I cannot be in a position where I am not empowering myself, because how will I be able to empower others if I am not empowering myself first? Start with you, water you, build you, praise you, take care of you. Everything you do, just make sure you put yourself first. So when I was exercising and also meditating throughout the year, that was the thought that was running through my mind. You're exercising, you're taking care of you. You are meditating, you're taking care of you. You are reflecting, you are taking care of you. Like a lot of things that people take for granted. But the battle that I continue to fight, and also sometimes I lose, sometimes I win, is the internal one. It's the conversation that I have with myself on how will I make this possible? Will I avoid or will I approach? Because I know that it's not gonna come easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Probably yourself at one point you're like, what's the use of me doing this? But right now it's a totally different attitude now. Because waking up at 5 a.m. is a norm. While they are sleeping, you are working, you are preparing for the day. And already by a set amount of time, by the time it comes maybe afternoon or even evening, you have completed 80% of your day. So to me, I have already won my day when in the morning I have decided to wake up, exercise, meditate, and then send some motivation to people who I hold dear into my life. The sun is shining today. It's very important for us to approach the day with what the sun is giving us, and that is prosperity, that is goodwill, and that is the amazement that it will continue. It will not stop from here. It continues. And for my mother, whom I love dearly, my daughter, my girlfriend, my aunts, my cousins, and everyone whom I know and hold dear, do not forget that there will be a day that will come and I will no longer be here. But I don't want you to cry. I want you to celebrate, because you got to spend time with me. You got to experience me. And the tears are only going to be of celebration, that you are going to be thanking the Almighty and the mere fact that they gave you an opportunity to be around a soul of myself. I know for a fact that I am meant to do good things. I am meant to do very big things. I am meant to change people's lives. But the one person whom I look forward to changing their life is myself. 10 years ago, I didn't even believe. And now, I believe in myself. I believe in the universe. I believe in the vortex, Shiva, Almighty. I believe that the universe will deliver what I seek. I ask for prosperity, it provided. I ask for love, it provided. I asked for commitment, it provided. I asked for hardship, and it provided. Everything that is happening in my life is what I attracted. At any point, I could remind myself that no, it is not my fault. But of course it is your fault. Whose fault is it supposed to be other than yours? Everybody's life is their fault. You are not where you want to be, it's your fault. You are succeeding and you are where you want to be, it's your fault as well. So this is a reminder to you, Thando Nkonyana, that you comparing yourself to someone else is stealing your joy. If you want to kill and steal your own joy, compare yourself to someone else and see where that will take you. That will take you away from acknowledgement and also all the wonderful things that you have built as a result of you persevering and sticking it through. You are one lovely individual, and everybody who will get an opportunity to meet you will have the privilege to experience you. You are going to be experiencing me in the flesh, in full capability, no lies whatsoever, because you can see the pain in my eyes. You can hear it in my voice. You can tell in the way how I move that I have been through a lot. But that has only built me muscle. Guys, this year has taught me that health is wealth, man. Health is definitely wealth. And also, they will never take you seriously if you don't build. I would advise each and every young person to empower themselves now with what they love. Now I'm just tending to my gift. I'm just trying to make sure that everything works out. And when it does, it will be on me. But that will not even be the end, because I know I only have a set amount of time remaining. So as a young person, stop looking on the outside. Start looking to yourself. Start to see around in your own community what can you start to offer solutions to. In many instances, these things are right in our face. I don't know who said this, but they said problems are opportunities in disguise. It's the same thing with this motivation thing. It's the same thing with the Wi-Fi game. It's the same thing with this tech company. It's the same thing with everything that I am doing. I decided to choose something that I am passionate and I love, and that is technology, and that is computers, and that is everything to do with motivation, gaming, and podcasting. It was like, how can I be able to inspire the world with my gift? I just went to the people that mattered most, and they told me, bruh, we don't get to see you often now, but when we do, I want us to be able to reach you without being able to reach you. How about you start offering the conversations that you have to us to the internet? Start being tender. Start being available. Start being there for yourself. That is how you're going to help you get to the top. So this year, I've been my own therapist. I've been my own fitness coach. I've been my own guru. I've been my own yogi. My own military commando. I've been my own everything. And I think to me that is the ultimate discipline. The fact that we can be able to discipline ourselves so that we can achieve a task. But I understand also that with every discipline that we instill, we get better. The more you do something, the better you become at it. The more we podcast, the better we get at podcasting. The more we read, the better we get at reading. The more we get better at retaining information. It's like a translation into many, many things that we take for granted at one point. But I've seen how the lack of empowerment is eating away at young people. We are bored at a young age. We are preoccupied with things that have no longevity, like drinking, partying, going out, and yet these things don't secure our future. We are just a product of this capitalist system that still exists. So in many instances, we think we have made it, and yet we have just become a very glorified slave. It's mental slavery that's happening now, maniacs. And if you think that they are not getting anything from you, I'd ask you to think again. We cannot be living in a technological world and believe that things are free. Probably if you're not paying any fee, you are paying with your data. And that is what these entities are failing to remind you of, that they need your data so they can constantly feed you advertisements, feed you and sell you. And they are selling our data to advertisers so that they can be able to target us. If you think I'm joking, I recommend that you watch a Netflix documentary called The Social Dilemma. It's about the impact of social media on its entirety. It's also about how many of these companies, the Twitters, the Facebooks, and all these social media apps that we are addicted to, the things that they got up to make sure that we are addictive to these apps. It's such a mind opener, and also it's a reminder that we live in times of algorithms now. These algorithms have become so good at detecting everything that we do, what we like, what team, who our friends are, because they're tracking us wherever we go, whether we like it or not. We are opting into all of these things. We have a cellular mobile network that at any instance, if something happens, they will be able to hand over that information to the relevant authorities if you are found to be involved in anything illegal. And you cannot fail to acknowledge that as much as we live in an advanced world, there are still people conspiring against us, even in this advanced world. It's a different form of slavery, and many of us are still ignorant to that. But I'm quite aware of the impact. That's why I am in a position where I'm building up a current parallel system that is going to oppose the current system, because it's for the few. We cannot have an unjust society even years after all these things have happened. And we cannot be crying into the 2030s as well. We're still in the 2020s, and we are still speaking about problems, and also we are still suffering from the same things that we did a few years ago. It's hard being black. In fact, it's hard being a human. But me, I'm speaking from a perspective of a person who's first of all unemployed. First of all, I'm in the hood, Google to be exact, section 2. And there are many people who can be able to relate even to my content. And I've met many people who have thought that I went to elite schools and all this because of how I speak, the opinion I have. And I always remind them that this is all me. I seeked all of this out. Yes, school did add here and there, but there are many empowering things that I learned about the world and also myself outside of school. School just gave me the foundation. Otherwise, it is not the job of the school to empower your kid. It is not the job of the education system that currently exists to empower you. It is there to continue to enslave you, and also it is there to brainwash you into achievements and all of these rewards that even our great-grandkids will not be able to benefit from. So I've decided even now to make moves for my generations, three generations down the line, and I advise you to do the same. The moves you make today affect tomorrow. Until next time. Welcome yet again. It is I, yours truly, Thando Nkonyana. My voice sounds a little bit off. It's the change of season, obviously. I got a bit of a fever there, under the weather, but that doesn't stop us. This is my first recording of this year, and first of all, I'd like to be mindful that I'm not here without the Almighty's grace. I cannot be here alone. I have to remind myself in every instance that I am God in the physical manifestation. It's a constant reminder that we are responsible for everything that we do, how we move, what we think about most, what influences us. And I've always believed that there is no interstellar that has a control of our lives, but that interstellar is us. With the first 3 days of this year being in full intact, it is a reminder again to myself that what got you here is going to be foundation to what you're going to learn next. This had me thinking that the activities, but most importantly the habits that sustain me, enable me to function at my best, are ones that I should bring forward even more. I cannot disacknowledge how important meditation and working out is, especially to the outcomes of the podcast. The podcast has also been something that I've used as a beacon of understanding, but also use it as a way to inspire and also elevate others. I quite understand that we are living in a world that is full of entertainment, and in most instances people don't want to be reminded of what they lack. But someone has to do it eventually. We are not all born to entertain. Some of us are born to educate. Some of us are born for many, many things. And if it is a journey that requires me to go the opposite, then it's something that I'm willing to do. This also had me thinking that in my family, I had a lot of background, especially from my father's side, with people that love teaching. And this year is also yet another year in which I'll give myself due diligence to find more and more about my family tree, and not just find out about my family tree, but also to embrace the lessons, embrace the tribulations and everything that they went through for this bloodline to be here. I had a conversation with my cameraman and informed him that the name that we have on us now is something that we can't take away. We might not like our fathers, we might disagree with how things had panned out for us as we grew, but one thing we can't run away from is that we have their name and their legacy. We have their blood running through our veins, and that is something I wouldn't disacknowledge at all. Yesterday I was in quite accepting mode about how things panned out. things were supposed to work out this way. My father, in many instances, had shown me how he felt about me and also his kids. And it also reminded me that I'll never put my children in that kind of position where they have to prove their love for their parent in order for their parent to be there for them. This is also acknowledgement for my mother, who chose to stay, even during difficulty, because it's quite easy, especially when you're going through hardship, for you not to stay. But this is acknowledgement to her, the great Thando Nkonyana. I'm quite glad that the Almighty chose you, Mom, as my mother, as my protector, as my place of comfort. I'm quite glad that I lived up to experience what a mother's love is, experience a mother's protection. And it's something that a few of us only will get to acknowledge if we give ourselves the mental capacity to acknowledge. Mama, I love and appreciate you even more now that you are not here. I also understand that I am still part of the living, and my focus should be being part of the living. The Almighty blessed me with a beautiful daughter, a very wonderful woman, whom I love dearly as the mother of my daughter, a woman whom I see as the protector of this legacy that I am out to build. I have taken a different outlook towards my life because it's necessary. Nobody else can be able to know what's best for me except me. And I do understand that I'm going to be met with that question many times. But I should understand that that is not about me. It's about the person who wants to know. And I've understood that this world thrives on the miseries of others. So instead of me offering problems, I'm going to start offering solutions. This happened to you, then what? Have you, first of all, at any instance decided, I am going to face this head on? I am going to deal with my emotional stance? Because to be quite honest, going through high school and having an emotional, my mother was not available emotionally, and I quite couldn't understand that. How could a parent whom I love so dearly not be there for me? But this is me forgetting that she was also going through things. These are the things that in the latter years leading up to her passing, I started to understand. This is a cry for acknowledgement to each and every person who has someone whom they hold dear in their life, for them not to hesitate to let them know how much they mean now. Because we let so much of what's going on earth get in between us that we fail to even put our pride to the side and reconcile with our loved ones. The most dangerous thing that I have found and discovered are words that are left unsaid. There are many people we want to let know how much they mean to us, not because we want an outcome out of that. Trust me, I had been in that situation many times, where I had to let a person know that I care about them without wanting to be in a relationship with them. But because there's this culture of norm, of wanting to need one another, of wanting to lean on each other instead of leaning on the self, and how dangerous that was. It made me lose a very valuable relationship, but it's a lesson I had to learn. It taught me that things are not about age, they are about experience, and that sometimes a person can outgrow you, and it's fine for people to outgrow you, because that should be a reminder that you are not supposed to be staying in one place. So I'm quite glad, because I'm not here today with the partner, being the father, being the podcaster, being the tech entrepreneur, and a gamer, a motivational speaker, and all of these things that I had to go through in order for me to realize its importance. Being left made me realize that I never want to leave myself. It is my responsibility, because I carry myself wherever I go. And in understanding that some people are not going to be in tune with the message that I am sending out there, but that's not important. The most important thing is that I get this out there. I am faced with a lot, but I know I'm capable. I'm worthy. I'll continue striving. It's through this that I know at the end of the day, I will reap what I sow. Make sure that you are getting a reward for your pain, because this is a reminder to me of what this upcoming season has to bring. It is gonna be the best ride of my life, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready for everything that it has to throw at me. I'm ready for the lessons, I'm ready for the people, and I'm also ready for the success, the failure, and everything involved in it. I have realized this year that I ain't scared. I'm not scared of anything. I'm not scared of failure. I'm not scared of people's opinion. I'm not scared of dying, because I know I've lived. How many of you are gonna leave this earth leaving something valuable? The biggest power that I have at my disposal now is legacy. Build your legacy, Thando. Build your legacy, maniacs. The dream that you want to achieve, only you can do it for you. But we need to be dead sure about what we want. And we already know. We got the 4 pillars of Galore 7 Media. Hit them where it hurts most. These are all 4 pillars that I will make sure I build this legacy on. I would advise you to also do the same. Even if you might have that corporate job, even if you might have that parent who's still providing for you, but do not at any moment disacknowledge the power of starting. Start something. You will not be good on your first try. But how many people has that prevented from starting by them wanting to be so excellent and so good on their first try? 2022 is gone, it's 2023 now, and it's a clean slate. What are you going to be doing now to make the next years the best years of your life? What seeds are you going to be planting now into your fertile soul, which is your brain, which you'll be able to harvest at the end of the year, or when harvest seasons come? That totally depends on you. But we all have to remind ourselves that in one way or another, we are all farmers planting seeds. The seeds are the ideas that we plant into our minds, and the harvest are the results that we get. Loving the process also has been something that elevated my game a bit. Also, having the power to rest. But the process itself, it's made me realize that nothing is set in stone. You can plan things to go out a certain way, and the total opposite happens. It is no fault of your own. It is not for you to question, but it is for you to accept. I just want to be a beaming energy of inspiration and hope. I don't want you to look at my life and say, why aren't you not here? I want you to say the Almighty is in work. The building is still being built. I am only a building in construction. You cannot be able to judge a structure that is still being built. This is a call out to everyone that the Almighty is not done with you. Where you are now is not your final destination. Even if you think what you have is enough, it's not. Life can change at any moment. Do not at any moment fail to be great. Gratitude will unlock a lot of things for you. This is me not forgetting the people that strengthen me, especially during hardship. Because not everyone can help you when you're going through the most. But make sure that you are helping yourself first. The emotional roller coaster ride that you are going to go through, it's going to require you to be there. Be attentive. Be patient. Be all the things that you want. Treat yourself as someone that you care and love deeply. Be tender with yourself. Be lovely. Be honorable. Because it requires you to do that. Ain't nobody gonna make you you. Only you can make you you. And in most instances, I forgot that. I want you to remind yourself of that. Start doing the things that ignite the passion in you, that ignite the life in you. Start engaging in activities that will expand your possibilities and also your view set towards life. The world is already depressing. You do not need to be the depressed as well as a result of the world. So this is me understanding that I am the captain of my soul. I determine where this ship goes. And sometimes this ship needs to be under maintenance. That's why I love the hyperbolic chamber. I need to watch Dragon Ball Z again this year. Huge fan. Kakarot fan. Also love Vegeta, Piccolo. But those animes always remind me of never giving up. Family. Trusting in one another. Believing in the bigger plan. And always being there for one another. I don't think I get here if I don't acknowledge other people. Learn to acknowledge and also give flowers to the people that are still there. Give them credit. Not for others to see, but for them to acknowledge. To me, having an impactful and positive conversation for an hour is more valuable than me going out to a restaurant and spending money. We need to start spending the most valuable commodity, and that is time. Time with the people that matter most. Find out about things they're going through. What are their struggles? Because everyone keeps on having things that are new that they get to face. But with these things that are new, we also need others that we can lean on to let them know that these are the things that we're going through. And it's not easy. It might not be easy, maniacs, but it is worth it. Start small, but dream big. Have the vision. Your dreams matter. You matter. I matter. Everything that you do does matter. Do not disacknowledge anything at any moment. Mama, ndiyabulela ngothando namava nenkxaso ondibonise yona. Ndikhusele kunezinto ngamanye amaxesha ndikhe ndizibuze ukuba ingabe ezi zinto zize undiwisa okanye zize ngondifundisa. Zawuze ke ndiphinde ndithathe onke amandla endibe nawo ndiwaphosele kuwe, kuba zikhona uzibonayo endingakwaziyo uzibona, kodwa ke sendifake ithemba ethandweni ondibonise lona, amava ondibonise wona, nenkathalo. Uthando lukamama lubalulekile ngazo zonke indlela, and even if okwenyama awusekho kodwa okomoya usekhona. Ndithetha nawe ndikucela ukhusela abantwana bakho ebubini obukhoyo ebomini. Kunale nto ibathathayo ngoku apha phandle ibenze bangakwazi nobona babasuka phi. Zawucela ubangene uhambe nomoya omhle bahlambuluke. Ndiyabulela. Namaste.